Afternoon, guys. Patrick Ledwaba here. Today, guys, we're going to be dealing with health and safety hazard, unit 3. And so saying we are on page 108. It's a group activity, activity number 9. It says, identify and explain the successful crowd management techniques in an emergency incident. There are management techniques that should be used in order to have a successful crowd management in an emergency incident. We have a few pointers here, and on the board I'm also going to point out a few that I've written down for you guys. So the first pointer here in an emergency incident, it says a crowd of ticket holders is queued and its entry into the facility may be controlled by metering. When in an emergency or at an event, we have to control how people get in and go out of the particular place or the area where we are hosting the event. So we should have adequate crowd control management for the entering into the particular place. So we're going to do it in a form of queuing, and in the queue we control people by metering so that they might not be pushing and whatnot. And the second point, whenever possible, use more than one entrance. This is true. At an event, when we have more than one entrances, then it is easier for people to get inside the place of the event, and by so doing, we're limiting like injuries and whatnot by adding more entrances to our event. And the second point, size of police detail for an event reflects anticipate crowd size and behavior. The size of police presence at an event is very important because they anticipate the crowd. When a crowd sees like a lot of police presence, there's likely nothing that is going to happen because they are contained by police presence. And the fourth point, facilities public address system has adequate volume and clarity for outside and inside use. So saying in a facility, there is inside and outside use. For example, outside use, it might be maybe the shades that have been put in place, and maybe security that has also been put in place for anyone who might need assistance or might need a place to rest outside the place where we might be hosting the event. And the last point, crowds outside the facility or event are offered necessary accommodation while waiting. This is what I was just saying now. They are offered accommodation in the form of shade and like other housing that have been built inside the event or outside, because shades should be allocated for the crowds who are waiting to get inside the event. And like by so saying, the pointers goes on and on, guys. So I'm going to move on to our next activity now, which is on page 117. Our activity on page 117. Identify and explain prevent setup that should be put in place to ease emergency situation. Now, for this part, this is the pre-event setup, like the steps that you should consider before you prepare yourself for an event. So I also have a few pointers here. The first pointer, set up barricades or rope lines for control, for crowd control. Yes, barricades and rope lines should be put in place for crowd control. in order to like control the crowd so that they can stay in their particular like platform where the crowd's supposed to be. So we use barricades and rope lines in order to contain them. And like pointer number 2, make sure that barricades are set up so that customers' line does not start at the entrance. Okay, true. When we set up our barricades, we should not set up our barricades straight at the entrance because it might cause a lot of conflict and people might end up getting hurt and whatnot. So the entrance should be maybe a few meters away, not the entrance, the barricades. The barricades should be a few meters away from the way we are doing our pre-event setup. And another point, make sure that barricades are set up so that customers' line does not start in the entrance. Okay, this one we did. Barricade lines have an adequate number of breaks and turns. Yes, when in a line or in pre-event setup, our barricades should be set up in a manner where there are breaks and turns in the tunnel, or in a walkway, because they say a walkway should not be straight. There should be breaks and turns in order to control the crowd, so that we avoid pushing and whatnot. And by so doing, I think we're also avoiding fatalities and injuries. Designate employees to explain approach and entrance procedures. Yes, we should designate employees to give people directions and procedures on how to enter the event. So by so doing, that means our crowd is going to be informed and no one is going to get lost, because we have people who are in place to give assistance to anyone who does not maybe know his way around where the event is taking place. Make sure outside personnel have radios. Yes, I think they should have radios, because outside security and the security which is inside the event and the police have to communicate in order to anticipate whatever a crowd might want to do or break or anything. So radios are very efficient so that there is communication between our outside personnel and inside securities and police, the personnel who help us contain the event. Locate shopping carts and other potential obstacles. I don't think shopping carts are important, but maybe we should locate so that people who have maybe luggage or plastics and whatnot, shopping carts are used for that. Communicate updated information. This is also very important, because by so doing, communicating updated information, that means our crowd is now informed of what is going to happen or what is about to happen at the event. So updated information is also important. Shortly after opening, remind crowds of entrance procedures. So after opening the place of the event, I think we should also remind the crowd of how the place of the event is placed and how they should find the way around the event. I think this is all for now, guys. Until next time, Magura.